Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, the Minions are back at it, boys and girls. Yes, Despicable Me 4 just released on Wednesday, and it is looking like it's going to be an absolutely huge, successful hit. Another major tentpole franchise home run, of course, coming from Illumination and Universal. It's a beautiful thing. The Minions franchise has been something that has been long enjoyed by a lot of fans and families for well over a decade at this point, and it's absolutely something that just keeps on going. The Minions toys sell like absolute hotcakes, and one of the smart things that Universal and Illumination has done is they're not overly sensitive about their copyright stuff either. We've seen Minions on absolutely everything, and nobody complains and nobody has issues, much unlike very much different than what the Walt Disney Company does to do. And yes, although their most recent box office hit with Inside Out 2 has absolutely crossed $1 billion, has been very successful. Of course, this is one of the things that is a situation where we see Universal starting to dominate more of the market and start to take over more of the market share in families entertainment. You can talk about Disney being the legacy media institution that's been the family brand for absolutely ever, but in the last few years, they've had a lot of failings that haven't been doing very well. Where on the other side of things, Illumination and Universal have been knocking out of the park left and right and giving fans and families exactly what they want. Good quality storytelling with a lot of fun characters that's enjoyable for the entire family without any of the BS or the nonsense in it, and they are getting justly rewarded for it, ladies and gentlemen, because as you can see over here, box office Despicable Me 4 heads for a sparkly $120 million for opening, and that is a beautiful thing to see, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely crushing it, and we know that Illumination and Universal are smart about their budgets. They do a lot of stuff over there in France. They have a lot lower costs on a lot of their kind of things, and they end up making much bigger profits, which is why you see Universal expanding so much of their theme park stuff, because they've got the extra money to do it, whereas you see companies like the Walt Disney constantly retracting and contracting a lot of different things, including admitting the fact that a lot of their major tentpole franchises like Marvel will be drastically reduced in the amount of products that they pump out, whereas Universal is going full steam ahead. And of course, they've got the great partnership with Nintendo, just making them an absolutely successful and dominant force in the family entertainment industry. And that is something that is beautiful to see, beautiful to talk about, and of course, wonderful to document, boys and girls. So we're going to check out this article from the Hollywood Reporter, getting all the juicy details of how well Despicable Me 4 has already done and will continue to do. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, subscribe and or follow if you have not already. And if you can, I know times are tough right now, but if you can support the channel, please check out the links in the description down below. And if not, make sure you leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about the success of Minions, and if the Universal is going to end up completely and totally eating Disney's lunch in the future, or if this is just a little hiccup and it'll end up being just a great all-around expansion for family-friendly entertainment going forward, because all of that stuff really does help out with the algorithm. So the Illumination and Universal tentpole returning to the Despicable Me grew and his Minions to the big screen opened in theaters Wednesday to get a jump on the long holiday weekend, and actually completely makes sense. A lot of time we criticize some of these early releases and some of these early accesses just padding numbers, but with 4th of July literally being Independence Day, literally being on Thursday, it makes sense to drop it Wednesday, because you want to get everybody being off work on the holiday, getting to be able to go see your movie. It just makes sense. Groot and his mischievous minions are hoping to fulfill their patriotic duty and once again set off a major fireworks as the 4th of July box office. Illumination and Universal's Despicable Me 4, which opened Wednesday in theaters across the U.S., posted an opening day gross of $27 million for an estimated 5-day holiday debut of $120 million at the domestic box office, including $70 million more for the 3-day weekend, according to early returns. Now, obviously, a lot of this is very much in estimates, but generally, more often than not, a lot of time with movies like this, they're generally within the ballpark. Now, I would imagine this one's probably going to end up coming in over estimates, because I've heard nothing but good things, and families have a long holiday weekend where they need to keep their children occupied. So it sounds like this movie, I hopefully ends up coming in over estimates. It would not surprise me at all. I'd love to see it completely and totally smash Inside Out 2, but we'll wait to see what happens with all of that kind of stuff. But it wouldn't surprise me. Knowing Universal's and Illumination's track record, this movie will most likely cross $1 billion like so many of their stuff has before. And a lot of time it does it very quietly without a lot of fanfare. It's just great success. It's constant winning, and they just can't stop it over there. That's in line with expectations and a strong start for the 4th outing of the main franchise, and the 6th in the Despicable Me/Minions series, which combined the ranks as the top grossing animated franchise of all time. Tell me that is not a beautiful thing. The top grossing animated franchise of all time, ladies and gentlemen. It's not anything from Disney. It's not anything from Warner Brothers. It's not any of these long running cartoons that have been around forever. No. It's a recent, by standards, by definition, a recent and a modern new creation, a new IP that is absolutely just killing it out there at the box office, and they deserve all of the success because guess what? They have followed a basic routine. They have made their customers, they have made their fans happy, they have most importantly made families and parents happy, and that is leading them to massive amounts of success, and they absolutely deserve it. Shout out to those guys. So Despicable Me 4, earning a glowing cinema score, will have no trouble wresting the box office crown from Pixar and Disney's blockbuster Inside Out 2, which is now in its 4th weekend. Even with the entry of DM4, however, don't expect Inside Out 2 to get run off by the Minions. The Pixar blockbuster, which cleared $1 billion, marking global sales, record time, yada, 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 we'll expect all that kind of stuff. The first Despicable Me opened over the July 9th to 11 weekend in 2010 to $56 million. The series then shifted its release earlier and became a 4th of July staple. Despicable Me 2 likewise opened to July 3rd, Wednesday, and posted a 5-day view of 143 million. 143 million, boys and girls, and that was in 2013. Me thinks they might be underestimating these numbers just a little bit. That was followed by a $120 million 5-day weekend for the start of the threequel in 2017. So the first Despicable Me movie in 7 years. Gru's the first favorite villain, superhero turned anti-villain league, ancient voiced by Steve Carell. We know about all of this. Gru and his brood are forced to go on the run after facing with a new nemesis faced by Will Ferrell. It's all the kind of story stuff you got from the trailers, all that kind of stuff. It's not really important for right now. But needless to say, this movie is doing very, very well. It is being very, very successful, and it will be a franchise that, as long as Universal doesn't decide to go off the rails, doesn't decide to sacrifice agenda over story or sacrifice storytelling for agenda, like what we've seen a lot of the Walt Disney Company stuff do, they will continue to do well. You market these movies properly, you tell them about the fans, you tell them about the families, and you tell people that this is just a good quality movie that everybody can enjoy without a bunch of nonsense and BS. And guess what? Strange concept. You build it and they will come, and this movie is absolutely killing it at the box office. So I love to see what's going on with Universal. I love to see what's going on with Illumination. I believe they have a very bright future ahead of them. I cannot wait to see the full scope of the Universal theme park out there in Florida with Nintendo Land and the Epic Verse and everything else that's going to open up. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. So ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, make sure you go check out Despicable Me 4. But of course, I understand times are tough right now, and some of us have very large families. So definitely go out and promote this movie and let everybody know what you think about it, and let us know down in the comments below if this is well-deserved box office, or do you think this is just desperation from people that are desperate to have any kind of good storytelling out there that is completely and totally family friendly. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section down below, and as always, thanks for watching, boys and girls.